Let's go to Amos from Kansas. Amos from Kansas City, welcome to the program. What's on your mind today?
Hi, David. I'm a long-time listener, long-time supporter of you, and I'm happy to be on here. First time I've ever gotten on. First, I had a question, but I wanted to answer one of your questions that you asked a couple of weeks ago. But
Sure.
Lauren Boebert loves to say those words, pleading the blood of Jesus.
Yeah,
I was born and raised apostolic Pentecostal, so I could tell you what that means.
please. What
It's
does it
kind of
mean?
a, it's kind of a legal term, but in the way that like Jesus died for you because and that blood that he spilled was a covenant between God and man. And so when things go wrong, we plead the blood of the covenant. And
And
it's
who
kind
do
of
you
like
plead? Who do you plead to?
God himself, God the Father,
Ah,
because the covenant is Jesus Christ's blood and yeah. That's the best way I can explain it, but that's how it was explained to me growing up.
and what are you
But
pleading for?
it depends on the situation. Like I
Okay.
guess for Lauren Boebert's situation, it would be pleading the blood for making Trump president or something like that.
So,
So
if I understand correctly, you would plead the blood of Jesus to God in order to achieve something that you want.
yes, pretty
Got it.
much.
Okay. All right. Very
So,
good. I
but
understand now.
that's just my explanation for it. But anyway, my question for you has to deal with I'm a big follower of a guy named Hemet Meta, and he did a poll, and he's like you. He gets these A+ rated polls and stuff, but he did it on the religions of the world that are best seen most positively and most negatively.
Okay.
And I wanted to know your opinion on this because according to the poll, Mormons are the least positively viewed religion. However, even though it doesn't seem like it based upon the loudness of the minorities, Jews are the most positively seen according to his polls.
Yeah,
Have you ever
so
heard anything
so
like
let's
that?
let's be clear. The poll you're referring to is a Pew Research Center poll. So I think it's important when we say his poll. I follow him on Twitter. It's a Pew Research Center poll, so quite reputable. So the this is only among Americans. I think it's important to mention. That's one thing. These are not global views about these different religions. And you're absolutely right. Among Americans, Jews followed by it's kind of complicated because of how this is ranked. Jews almost perfectly followed by Catholics, then mainline Protestants, then evangelical Christians, then atheists, Muslims, and Mormons in that order are seen as most favorable to sort of like least favorable. The difficulty about that poll is it's all kind of low numbers. Like the difference between the least favorable, which is Mormons, and Jews, which is the most favorable, is only 20 points. It's 15 to 35. So I have a couple different thoughts on this. Number one, the U.S. has a different sort of perspective on a lot of these religions than the world. So, like, I think that Mormonism might be seen differently in other parts of the world where the population of Mormons is very different. I mean, it's a very interesting poll. I don't really know what to make of it. I do think that when it comes to Jews, some of the favorable is probably based in anti-Semitic tropes, like people who are like, oh yeah, Jews control some great industries. So like I see them favorably in that way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that like you necessarily think Jews are good people or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
But it is a very interesting poll. Yeah. The
Okay.
other thing about it is the vast majority of respondents have no opinion about most of those religions. Like
Uh,
60% of the respondents said, I don't know enough about Jews to say one way or the other.
well, if it's any consolation, I view all Jews to be my mother's side of the family is there's a lot of that is Jewish. So,
Okay.
but anyway, thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Very interesting poll. Thanks for bringing it up. I do appreciate that.